Pleasant day to each and everyone. This is Zyra, Joy, and Ronquillo, and I would like to present my study entitled Development and Validation of an Electronic Learning Module in English 8. English is not only a medium of instruction, but also a second language. That is why language teaching had been an indispensable part of the curriculum of the different countries, including the Philippines. Literature has remarkable benefits in language teaching. It serves as an authentic material and it expands language awareness through the variety of language styles, vocabulary, and norms, according to Clanfield in 2018. According to the Department of Education, Grade 8 English curriculum focuses on Afro-Asian literature or African Asian literature. And with that being said, this curriculum highlights the ability of the learners to appreciate, to enjoy, to analyze, and to describe literary pieces from the Afro-Asian literature. All the more, the curriculum's objective is for the learners to demonstrate communicative competence and multiliteracies according to Batita in 2016. According to Barrett, K-12 English curriculum responds to the components and required skills under 21st century education. Also, the curriculum presents educational and economic needs of the Philippines. However, according to the following researchers, De La Rosa and Lintao in 2018, Alburo, Flores, Yi, and Barrett in 2019, they reported that the current curriculum needs to improve its specificity, internal coherence, and integration of the 21st century principles and skills. Martinez Bermudez Mahusay in 2014 reported that 85% of the participants were classified under developing level, and also the instructional activities constructed and conducted in grade 8 English revealed to be significant and very good. This implies that the activities elicit an impact on the academic performance of the learners. According to Raka and Lasaton in 2018, the grade 8 learners in Philippine Science High School in Northern Luzon were reported to achieve satisfactory level in English. Moreover, their academic performance in science and mathematics fall under very good. In English, learners fall under the good level only. It implies that language proficiency could be a determinant in the student's performance in other subjects according to their research. And with the different changes and innovation, and with the existence of COVID-19, online distance learning serves as one of the new normal modalities in education. But first, let us get to know, or let us know what is distance education. Distance education is a learning modality delivery where teachers and learners are separated by time and space. And based on the given article, distance learning is conducted through a designed material, method, and arrangement identified by a respective institution. Sabio noted that distance education promotes inclusive education that gives opportunities for lifelong learning. It also offers an expansion of learning modality by utilizing the television or radio, print, and the internet for institutional goals. Distance education also meets the demands of globalization as it carries out a culture-based approach, and it also makes the education system responsive to the needs of the people according to the Philippine Development Plan of 2011 to 2016. Okay, for this slide, the Department of Education released an order, which is the DepEd Order number 12 series of 2020, wherein it's all about the learning continuity plan for the school year 2020-2021, and this is due to the health threat brought by the coronavirus or COVID-19. This order sets guidelines on the intervention in education to respond to the issues and challenges caused by COVID-19. With this, multiple learning deliveries for education must be implemented by public and private institutions, and one of which is online distance learning. Online distance learning allows asynchronous and live synchronous instruction, which is more interactive than the other types of distance learning material or modality. Accordingly, Kasuma said that electronic learning modules could be used by the learners conveniently. Thus, using an e-learning module permits step-by-step learning process wherein the responses could be given in real time. According to Ventayan, Filipino teachers have positive attitudes toward ODL wherein majority of the teacher respondents are ready for online teaching. With this, it is recommended by Ventayan that teachers should undergo training. In the advent of distance education or online distance learning education system, ICT plays a big role, and using technology positively change the English teaching methods because it provides alternatives in making the teaching learning process more interesting and productive, according to Patel in 2013. The use of ICT in the field of modern education is no longer an alternative to traditional approaches in teaching. Thus, ICT stimulates collaboration, autonomous learning, ensures achievement and motivation. It assists in a developmental acquisition of higher order thinking skills and social competencies, according to De La Rosa in 2016. However, the provision of ICT materials and intensive training among teachers in using ICT platforms and tools must be addressed. In the conduct of online distance learning, it is reported by Aparicio, Bacao, and Oliveira in 2016 that online courses in the Philippines have a growth rate of 65%, and it was highlighted by the presented researchers that electronic learning capitalizes on two major elements, namely learning and technology. In Thailand, the students who experience online education through a flipped classroom obtained satisfactory score in English 8, according to Satikarn and Wichadi in 2018. It was also revealed that e-learning promotes independent learning. E-learning offers the following. These are the advantages of electronic learning or online distance learning. It provides diverse learning activities, sustenance of intrinsic motivation. It provides opportunities for introverted learners to perform better. It provides enhancement of time management skills, acquisition of valuable concept, and employment of a more learner-centered learning process, according to Tanvir in 2011. According to the following researchers, it was also highlighted that electronic learning module increases availability and repetition of instructional content. The electronic module also lessens the demand for lecture time as it provides an alternative approach for teaching. Thus, the study of Johnston in 2010 reported that learners who were able to accomplish an electronic or online module had developed their information literacy skills through a flexible learning method. On the other hand, Marcelo noted that there is a shortage of instructional materials and insufficiency of facilities needed for an efficient teaching learning experience. And it was also emphasized by Imperial, Halike, and Robles in 2016 that there is a lack of modules and other learning materials in teaching the different subject areas. That is why Lacambra and Lumibao in 2018 emphasized that schools should support English 8 teachers in utilizing innovative classroom strategies because it makes the teaching learning process more lively and attractive. In line with the development of a learning module in English 8, DepEd prescribed Afro-Asian literary pieces to be included in the module are highly appropriate in development of metalinguistic awareness. So, in developing English 8 module, it is very important to include literary pieces from Afro-Asian literature. Sagun and De Vera in 2019 also noted that literary texts in the module are a positive contributing factor to the development of vocabulary and grammar knowledge of the learners. Hence, the Philippine English language textbooks highly focuses on the writing and reading skills of the learners. It implies that modules and textbooks must also provide content and tasks that will improve the other macro language skills such as listening and speaking. That is according to de Guzman, Chua, Cruz, Dinglasan, Gilberte, and Martin in 2012. In summary, the teaching of grade 8 English under K-12 enhanced basic education curriculum in the Philippines features the Afro-Asian literature in developing proficient language learners. The said curriculum obtained positive feedback where it was considered as a response to the needs of the 21st century education. Based on the DepEd Order number 12 series of 2020, DepEd encourages the conduct of online distance learning. Notably, ODL supports the use of ICT sources and electronic learning modules where learners can learn independently, according to Kasuma. Thus, both learners and teachers show positive attitude with ODL, wherein 65% of the teachers in the Philippines utilize online and ICT sources, according to the following researchers. The utilization and of the utilization of electronic learning modules in ODL elicits numerous advantages. Specifically, the e-learning module provides opportunity for developing the autonomy, time management, information literacy, and language autonomy skills of the learners. E-learning module also promotes self-paced learning, where learners are responsible for their learning process. From the perspective of the teachers, the e-learning modules provide an alternative approach in teaching wherein it minimizes the lecture time, and the teachers serve as facilitators in using the e-learning modules. However, the lack of available materials is a problem for teachers and learners. In this regard, grade 8 teachers are tasked and responsible for developing materials using technology, innovative classroom strategies, and sources. That's why in this study, the researcher, or me as the researcher, developed and validated an electronic learning module in English 8 due to, due to the shortage of available learning materials suitable for online distance learning trend in education. Thus, electronic learning or e-learning module will serve as a tool to assist and to reinforce learners' mastery of the different learning competencies in English 8 K-12 curriculum. For the theoretical framework, this study utilized the holistic e-learning systems by Carroll and Swatman in 2000 and Lee and Baskerville in 2003. It highlights the three components of the e-learning system, which are the stakeholders or the people, the e-learning technologies, which pertains to the technology or the platform, and lastly, the e-learning activities or the services. The theory explains that the teachers and learners use e-learning technologies or platforms in the teaching learning process. The e-learning technologies enable the teacher to provide support and tools in presenting the e-learning activities or the content. Also, the e-learning services incorporate all activities or content based on the English 8 curriculum guide. Another, the cognitivist learning theory developed by Ulrich Neisser, Robert Gagne, and Noam Chomsky will be employed in or is employed in teaching literature and language content. This theory will serve as the guide in conceptualizing and creating the content of the e-learning module. So these are the features of the cognitivist theory. First, teaching strategy should link prior and new knowledge to stimulate active participation among students. Second, the learning strategy should improve higher order thinking skills and promote varied real-life approaches and information. Notably, the following are highlighted: application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Third component, the e-learning module should include activities that will cater to the different style or will cater the different learning styles of the learners. Fourth, teaching strategies must develop learners' intrinsic and extrinsic motivation in the learning process. Fifth, the learning content must highlight various real-life situations. Lastly, the researcher should avoid overloading in presenting the learning contents in the module. In summary, the study emphasized the components of holistic e-learning systems in creating the e-learning platform. Thus, the e-learning module in English 8 applied the concepts and strategies underpinning the cognitive learning theory. In this slide, the e-learning module serves as a tool to develop learners' mastery of the different English 8 learning competencies based on the K-12 English 8 curriculum. For the conceptual framework, in this study, the researcher developed an e-learning module using a learning management system, which is the Google Classroom. It follows the lesson content standards and learning competencies indicated in the English 8 K-12 curriculum guide. The English 8 curriculum guide focuses on Afro-Asian literature, and it develops the following skills: the reading, listening comprehension, viewing comprehension, vocabulary, literature, writing compositions, oral language fluency, and grammar fluency and structure. Proceeding, the learning module was subjected to a review and validation process to ensure its usability and suitability based on the curriculum and learner's level. As a result, the English 8 e-learning module will serve as an efficient material in monitoring and developing learners' mastery in the different learning competencies in English 8. For the paradigm of the study followed the IPO, or the input process output model. For the input, it involves the development of electronic learning module in English 8 based on the K-12 English 8 curriculum guide. For the process of ensuring the quality of the module, the validation was conducted. The validation of the electronic learning module in English 8 was conducted, and it was validated by subject matter experts and IT experts. For the output of this study, we have the electronic learning module in English 8. For this study, it aimed to develop and validate the electronic learning module in English 8 for grade 8 learners in one of the public schools in the Interlock province in the school year 2020-2021, and it sought to answer the following questions. First, how may the electronic learning module in English 8 be developed? Second, how may the electronic learning module in English 8 be validated in terms of the following? First, content. Second, design or format. Third, technical or technological. And fourth, pedagogy. For the method, the study employed a quantitative research method using the research and development design. This design aims to develop and validate the electronic learning module in English 8. It provides the fundamentals in creating the electronic learning module and the validation method based on the set standards. For the validators, we have 6 validators for this study: 3 subject matter experts and 3 IT or information technology experts. Also, in this study, an English critic checked the grammatical aspect of the module. The subject matter experts are graduates of Master of Arts in English who have been teaching grade 8 English for 3 years and above. The 3 information technology experts are graduates of Master of Science in Information Technology. The latter have 15 years and above experience practicing the discipline as a teaching instructor. The English language critic is a graduate of Master of Arts in Educational Management. He has been teaching English for 6 years in public school and has been serving as a module writer in DepEd Division of Tarlac Province. The researcher employed purposive sampling, and this is to meet the set validators qualifications in this study and to guarantee the quality of the output and credibility of the validators in this study. For the instrument, this in this study, I used the material developed and provided by the College of Education of Pampanga State Agricultural University, which is the evaluation rating sheet for DE or ODEL modules. The given instrument is answerable by yes or no, and it validates or evaluates the module in using the four factors. First, the content, design or format, technical or technological, and lastly, based on pedagogy. For the procedure of this study, the researcher developed an electronic learning module in English 8 for an asynchronous online learning system using Google Classroom. Google Classroom is a learning management system. The learning module is divided into 4 quarters to allow the teachers to monitor and evaluate learners' progress. The Google Classroom allows the teachers to do the following: organize the lesson materials, create different Google documents for assessment and discussion, set notices for submission, integrate other learning application or tools, give feedback, and save files to a virtual storage, which is the Google Drive. Most importantly, in the development of the module, of the electronic module, the K-12 English 8 curriculum guide served as the basis for the construction and conceptualization of the module. And for the format, the researcher followed the prescribed format for under DepEd Order number 001, series of 2021. The order gives a prescription or format in creating self-learning modules. Here is the format or the different parts of the e-learning modules. We have the guidelines, table of contents, introduction to the lesson. For the module proper, we have the objectives. For the second part, what should you know? It contains the initial activity and the discussion of concepts. For the next part, let us apply what we have learned. It includes controlled and independent activities to establish the learner's understanding of the lesson. For the next, we have let us strengthen what you have learned. This part includes activities that will help learners apply their knowledge or skills in real-life situations or task-based activities. For the assessment, it includes quizzes to determine the level of mastery of the learners. For the next one, additional activities, it includes enrichment activities for retention purposes or for performance task. Next, we have reflection. This part shows the learners what learners have learned in the lesson. And lastly, we have the sources. This includes the materials and sources used in the module. For the assessment, the e-learning module included quarterly pre-test and post-test assessments. For the validation, the 3 subject matter experts validated the content of the e-learning module. On the other hand, the 3 ICT or the IT experts validated the format and technical aspects of the electronic learning module. The English language critic, of course, checked the grammatical aspects of the module. For the results and discussion, to answer the first question, how may the electronic learning module in English 8 be developed? Table 1 shows the stages or the processes undertaken by the researcher. First, we have planning. Second, developing, checking of grammatical aspects, validation, and editing. The development of the electronic module follows the IPO model, wherein output pertains to conceptualization, the process deals with the development proper, and the output signifies the product of the study. By following the process, the module was developed in 5 stages. The module was developed to address the need for a suitable material for an asynchronous online distance education. The Google Classroom, which is a learning management system, was used in developing the module. The lessons were discussed and activities that target different learning competencies were included in the module. The content activities included in the module were based on the content standard of the curriculum and the required skills under 21st century education. The development of the module is related to the study of De La Rosa and Lintao in 2018, wherein instructional materials should be specific and must integrate the 21st century principles and skills. The three subject matter experts and the three IT experts validated the electronic learning module using the evaluation tool provided by the institution. The subject matter experts are master's degree holder who are teaching in English 8 for at least 3 years. The electronic learning module capitalizes in the advancement of ICT in education. According to Patel, Lee, and De La Rosa, utilizing technology in English makes the teaching learning process more interesting and productive. So those are the different stages. So for the planning, selection of lessons, and designing of activities based on the curriculum guide was undertaken. For the developing stage, construction of the module lessons and activities that targets English 8 learning competencies was done. For the next part, the checking of grammatical aspects, the English critic checked and corrected the grammar and writing mechanics of the module. For the validation, the experts or the validators evaluated the learning module using the rating sheet. And lastly, for the editing stage, the module was edited based on the comments and suggestions of the validators and the language critic. Now, to measure the content of validity ratio uh, of the number of the respondents indicating essential, wherein this part determines the validity of the topics included in the module. So this is the table 2.1. This is for the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Table 2.1 shows the ratio of the number of respondents indicating essentials for the topics included in electronic learning modules in English 8, wherein the electronic learning module it covered the 4 grading periods containing 32 topics which were validated by the subject matter experts in English 8. The result showed that all the 32 topics obtained a content validity ratio of 1, which means that all the topics are considered as essential. Therefore, the topics which are based on the domains and learning competencies of English 8 curriculum guide must be included in the electronic learning module in English 8. To answer the second problem, how may the electronic learning module in English 8 be validated? This is the table 2.2, which pertains to the content validation of the electronic learning module in English 8. Table 2.2 shows that the it shows that on the first validation, all of the three subject matter validators agreed in all the statements, and it implies that the lessons and information included in the module are sufficient and congruent to the content standards of the grade 8 English curriculum. The result carries out that the learning material must contain content and tasks that will improve the language skills are aligned to the curriculum. In English 8, Afro-Asian literature is the focus of the curriculum, and including literary pieces is highly appropriate in developing vocabulary and grammatical knowledge, according to Sagon and De Vera in 2019. For table 2.3, it shows the design or format validation of the electronic learning module in English 8. Table 2.3 shows that the three subject matter experts and the three IT experts agreed on the statements 2.1 to 2.5. The result means that the module followed the prescribed format and layout standards indicated in the validation tool. The finding supports the claim of Sequeira in 2012 that a learning module should be simple and must use a direct style of writing. Moreover, the module followed the principle that the module must be divided into units or lessons so that the learners can easily manage their learning pace. For the next table, it shows the technical or technological validation of the electronic learning module in English 8. The data conveys that the three IT experts agreed on the statements 3.1 to 3.5. The result conveys that the module adheres to the requirements and provision of an online distance learning material based on the parameters of the validation tool. The result confers the study of Putra in 2015, Cavano and Moore in 2011 that electronic modules must be accessible for learners as it promotes convenient and independent learning. The result also affirms that the module supports ICT sources and it increases availability, repetition of instructional content, according to Kasuma in 2017. For the next table, 2.5, it shows the pedagogy validation of electronic learning module in English 8, wherein it reveals that the three subject matter validators agreed that the electronic module met the standards indicated on statements 4.1 to 4.7. This means that the objectives, activities, and strategies integrated meets the performance and content standards indicated in the curriculum guide. The module provides opportunity for the learners to develop their creativity and language skills. The data obtained agree with Bazer in 2019 that a learning material must follow the curriculum and formulated activities that improve 21st century skills to make it meaningful and appropriate for the learners. The result also supports the claim that online distance learning must provide diverse learning activities, motivation, opportunities for different types of learners, valuable concepts, and employment of learner-centered learning process, according to Tanvir in 2011. Those are the results and discussion of this in this study. For the implications of this study, the electronic learning module utilizes a learning management system called Google Classroom. The learners and teachers and other stakeholders must be able to manipulate Google Classroom. The learning module is a useful and suitable material in the advent of a synchronous online distance learning modality. Next, the module will serve as a tool to assist and reinforce learners' mastery of the different learning competencies in Grade 8 English based on the K-12 Enhanced Basic Education Curriculum Guide. For the conclusions of this study, the following conclusions are: first, the electronic learning module in English 8 was developed through the following stages. First, planning. Second, developing. Third, checking of grammatical aspects. Fourth, validating. And lastly, the editing stages. Second conclusion, the electronic learning module in English 8, which is accessible via Google Classroom, met all the standards indicated in the validation tool. For the recommendations of this in this study, based on the obtained results and conclusions, the following recommendations are hereby suggested. First, the Department of Education or DepEd should conduct training regarding the utilization of Google Classroom to efficiently use the electronic learning module. Second, teachers and parents should encourage and assist learners in using the electronic module. Third, the electronic learning module in English 8 may be adopted by DepEd or by the Department of Education for asynchronous online distance learning modality. That is the end of my presentation. Again, the title of my study is Development and Validation of an Electronic Learning Module in English 8. And again, this is Zyra Joy and Ronquillo, my English student, and thank you for listening.